My name is Janet Rice, and I am going to discuss my lesson plan. The Arkansas Learning Standard that I'm using is to identify and diagram the layers of the earth. The Common Core standard that I'm using is to cite textual evidence to support analysis of what the text says explicitly as well as inferences drawn from the text. The objectives are: the learner will identify Earth's layers and the characteristics of the layers using a graphic organizer. The learner will write an essay or create a poster of Earth's layers. The learner will cite textual evidence from their textbook using author's last name and page number. The reason I've chosen this objective: for this lesson, I would like for students to learn the Earth's layers and also characteristics about the layers. I want students to recognize textual evidence to support facts about the layers. It is important that students learn about the layers before they move on to the next lesson about what each layer contains: minerals, rocks, and resources. It is also important that students learn how to cite and show textual evidence of their findings and learning. Students will have to cite text in high school and college in many subjects. Student grouping. I have chosen whole group, individual, and groups of two. And the reason I've chose these groupings: whole group, in the whole group, students will discuss with the teacher what they already know about Earth's layers. Students with the teacher will also discuss what they may already know and understand about citing textual evidence. I have chosen this grouping to gain knowledge on what the students already know. The students can also make connections listening to others and gain interest on the topic. Individual. Students will work individually using their textbooks and create an essay or a poster of the Earth's layers. Students will cite the findings of their evidence from the book. I chose this grouping to allow students to read and think on their own. This is also a method of practice for the students. Groups of two. Students will group with one another and fill out their graphic organizers on Earth's layers. I have chosen this grouping so that students have the opportunity to learn from their peers. Students will be grouped according to their learning styles. Methods and strategies. The methods that I'm using in this lesson is guided practice, cooperative learning, advanced organizer, and providing feedback. The reason I've chosen these methods: guided practice. I have chosen this teaching method to assist students while they are filling out their graphic organizer. I will be able to clear up misconceptions in the instructions this way. This method supports the audio learners in my classroom. Cooperative learning. I have chosen this method to give an opportunity to students to learn from their peers. This also provides a way that students can move around more in the class and provides kinesthetic support for my busy students. Advanced organizer. I have chosen this method for the visual learners in my classroom so that they can visualize the layers and remember them. Providing feedback. I have chosen this method so I can clear up misconceptions and let students know if they are on the right track. Activities. Introduction. When students enter the room, they will have work on their desk. Students will begin writing down some of their own ideas about Earth's layers. After all the students have entered the room and have had a minute to look over and think about Earth's layers, I will present the topic. We will begin to discuss our thoughts and characteristics of the layers through whole group discussion. I will write the ideas the students have about the layers on the board as we gather the correct information. Modeling. I will start a PowerPoint presentation with the class and display the layers of the Earth. The PowerPoint will also contain a finished graphic organizer with cited textual evidence. Next, the PowerPoint will have examples of a poster and essay completed with the layers with cited evidence. As we go through this PowerPoint, students and I will discuss every component. Guided practice. Students will be asked to get into their assigned groups of 2 and begin working on their graphic organizers. I will walk around the room and assist the groups as needed. Students will practice with my help filling out the organizer using their textbooks and citing textual evidence. Independent practice. Students will choose one of the following: write an essay about what they think is the most important layer of the earth and why. Students will use their text and cite textual evidence. Students can choose to make a poster by drawing each layer and labeling in detail using complete sentences. The students will cite textual evidence on their poster. Closing. Students will come back as a group and share a fact each about what they have completed on their essay or poster. Students will be given time to ask questions about the topic. Before leaving, students will be given an exit slip asking them to list the 3 layers of Earth and give 1 fact for each. The reason I've chosen this activity. I have chosen these activities so that I would have many ways to present the information to students. I have also provided students many ways to show me what they know. I am accommodating different learning styles in my classroom. Materials. The instructional materials that I'm going to need is a graphic organizer, computer, internet, textbook, notebooks, pencils, poster board, markers, and PowerPoint. I have chosen these materials because students will need computer, PowerPoint, and internet to complete the whole group instruction. The graphic organizer, textbook, and pencils will be used in the group work. The poster board, notebook, markers, pencils, and textbook will be used in the activity of choice. Evaluation. The 2 forms of evaluation that I have are an exit ticket, and that's where students will be asked to identify the Earth's layers and identify 1 characteristic that describes each layer, and this is a formative assessment. And then students can pick one of the following, and they can write an essay about their favorite Earth layer, like it's on trial to be eliminated from Earth. The students must find evidence and prove the layer's importance and cite from the textbook. The other is make a poster displaying the Earth's layers and label each layer accordingly. Cite from the textbook where you found your information. Why have I chosen this approach for evaluation? I have chosen this evaluation plan to meet the needs of the students. In this evaluation, I have provided different ways for students to give me feedback that I would need. I will be able to use these evaluations to scale how much the students retain, and I will reflect on their progress as I continue the Earth Science unit.